Hello, I'm Sanziel Hopper. Most of you know me as a reviewer. Well, most of you don't watch my videos, but still. And I'm going to show you a history of Nintendo. Nintendo started out as a small company in Japan in the 1800s, the late 1800s, with a card game that went very well. And when the creator of the card game, the leader of Nintendo, was about to pass on, he did not have a son to pass on to the company, so they stopped making the cards. And then skip forward like another 100 years, and they were a toy company working for big toy stores. But 30 years after that is where they really got going. When their first game, called Color TV Game 2, came out, it kind of did well. It was like a Game & Watch. I mean, it was Game & Watch. It was a dual screen that looks a lot like the DS. Dual screen. And this is about the same time that the first home systems came out, because everybody wanted home systems other than spending their money on arcades. So Nintendo wanted to make their own system with a whole line of development teams. And these people were like people with weird names, but like the biggest one was Shigeru Miyamoto, but no one knows him at the time. We'll get to it in a little bit, but the first game, I forgot what it was called, and I don't know what it is, so we're not going to talk about it. I kind of assume it was Donkey Kong, but before they made their first home system, which was the NES, they made their own arcade games, which were not very good, other than their good ones, like Mario Brothers, which was later ported, Donkey Kong, which was later ported to everything, and they just struck success. But the person that made Donkey Kong and Mario Bros. Was the same person that made all the new games basically for the Wii now. Shigeru Miyamoto. He's the brainchild of most Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong. That's all I can think of. Games. And he created them. All the characters. Without him, there would be no Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong, and others. He just wanted to make his own game for them just to prove himself to the company. And he made Donkey Kong just for the arcade. It just showed a giant monkey holding a girl and a plumber or carpenter named Jumpman trying to save her. Now that was a weird idea at the time, and they didn't really like it at first on paper. But when he made a layout for it, they were just in love with it, and they just started taking notice of him. Now skip ahead a few years. The Nintendo was doing great. Nintendo Entertainment System. They made the first home system. And, well, it was great. It was Nintendo Entertainment System, and everyone was buying it. They've launched with good games such as Super Mario Brothers, which was made by Shigeru Miyamoto, fastest selling game in the US history. Same with Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario Brothers. And with Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was just made by Nintendo, but it was very revolutionary. It was made with a light gun, and it tracked light from the TV and shot down ducks. Okay, so people were going crazy for the Nintendo, and they were just in love with it, and Nintendo really didn't have any rivals. So Shigeru Miyamoto was getting huge success, and he gave them great ideas such as Zelda, Legend of Zelda, which spawned its own franchise. And he was given such great ideas that they just pretty much promoted him to like the highest management almost. He made like great games. Anyways, now skip forward like 4 years, and Nintendo, and a new face came on the scene, Sega. Well, not really new because they were there on the NES, but still. And they made the Sega Genesis. And it was out for a few years now, in 1992, and Nintendo hadn't made their system yet. And that wasn't good for them. And they were behind because they kept delaying it. And, well, after a long time, they finally released it, and Sega just bashed them, like, so hard. They did not let any mercy, and they even made a slogan, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And that was just really, mean, firstly. But, the Super Nintendo made great games, like Super Mario World, which came back in too, also made by Shigeru Miyamoto, and it was very revolutionary for its time because of its graphics. And at the same time, Atari came out with a new system called the Jaguar, saying that it had 64 bits. Now, let's think for a second. The Nintendo Entertainment System had 6 bits and 8 bits. The Super Nintendo has 16 bits. But Atari was actually lying. There was only 32 bits, like 232 bits. And that failed. But, the Super Nintendo only made a few huge hits, like, for example, Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country, which were the games by Donkey Kong that were not made by Shigeru Miyamoto. And he said that they sucked. But he apologized. But in reality, they were one of the greatest games of all time, because they pulled out of the slump that the Super Nintendo was in, because they were just not making any new games for a while. And this game had like fake 3D, like really good looking 2D that looked like 3D. And Sega Genesis was saying that, oh, we have full motion video on their Sega CD, which is horrible.